Hey everyone, Cathy Zielske here. Welcome back to the craft/dining room. You have found yourself in another installment of new stamps, new dies. Now what? The only web series wherein a middle-aged crafter takes some stamps and dies I've never used and, well, I do something with them. The card I'm creating today is for the introverts in your life. I don't just play one on TV. This is a longer process video where I will take you through all of the design choices I make as I go. There's a tiny bit of editing, otherwise we'd be here all week. To see my card project, designed for you introverts out there, stick around, it's coming up next. So here's a look at my newest stamp set called Introverts Unite. Thank you. I'm going to take this out. Now there are coordinating dies that you can purchase. They do not come like this. Mine are just tucked in the back there. I'm going to take this out so it's not shiny. Come on now. There we go. All right, let's pop you up here. And then we'll come a little closer up so you can see the sentiments. Introverts Unite, preferably alone at home, when it's convenient, of course. Introverts Unite, but don't use exclamation points as they draw too much attention. Introverts Unite separately. I came, I saw, I left early. I love that you get me. This is just for the introverts in your life. I love that you text before calling. That is totally me and one of my best friends. You can always cancel with me. I'd love to catch up, but I already talked to people this week. Canceling plans is my love language. So you can kind of get the feel for this. I just thought they were cheeky and fun, and I think there's actually a lot that we can do with this for the introverts in our lives. So, don't know if I will use the dies or not, although I may cut one of the sentiments out. But here's what I thought I would do. I'm going to grab a new die. And this is called the Floral Front, or Floral Card Front. Now, if you notice, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet, because look at all that beautiful space. Let's see, will it die cut this way? As you can see, I could actually have some of my sentiments for this stamped. In fact, I think I saw, I left early, I love that you get me. I think that would be perfect, or even social distancing is my love language. But I think there's sort of a contrast, if you will, of having something really beautiful and something really cheeky. So I think that's my plan. I think that's the plan. I am going to, first of all, cut this out of some white cardstock and start planning what kinds of colors I might want to use in this card. So that's going to be step number next. Let's take a look. Let's see how well it cut. And I'm sure that it cut beautifully. Oh my goodness. You know, I was actually cutting incorrectly on my Gemini in a few videos, and it still cut beautifully. So I'm just popping these out right now. Let's see here. Actually, I think I'll just poke. Well, let's just keep doing it like that, I guess. Sometimes you got to be careful. I'm going to show you something that I use quite often. All right, here. A piece of craft foam is not a bad way to go when you've got something like this and you just want to push in and get the delicate. It should do fine, and it will be fine. It just, sometimes you got to be careful that you don't bend your pieces. So let's see here, let's get you out of there. But my idea, possibly, well, this just suddenly either got very simple. Come on now, get out of there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut probably at least one more so that I can glue them together and have a little bit of dimension. But I still think, yeah, let's get this here. I still think it could be very cute to have, well, let's go this way so you can really see it now. You know, have one of those stamped in the background. All right, now I have to think. I'm going to get some scraps of cardstock and start planning this out. How to simplify this process? I went ahead and grabbed my cardstock here because if I were to create like different colored flowers in all of these, I think it would turn into just more complicated than I want it to be. So think what I'm going to do. One color for the flowers, one color for the berries, right? One color for the leaves, and then the butterfly will coordinate. So I think I'm going to do pinks for the flowers, right? light pink leaves, dark pink berries, and then whatever those things are. I think those are berries. I'm gonna do, let's see, I don't know if I have, probably green apple for the leaves or green leaf, but I don't know if I actually have any of this cardstock here at the present. And then for the butterfly, I could just go to do some maybe orange and sunshine. You know what I mean? Just kind of create this, stay on the warm side of the rainbow, and that means fewer passes through the die cut machine. So I'm going to do that. But I also need to die cut at least one more of these so that I can begin to fill them in. All right. And then I have to make a card base and stamp on that. So boy, there's a lot of things I'm thinking about right now. We got this. We got this. Okay, let's do more die cutting. So for my next step, I'm going to do some stamping on the card base. I went ahead and I scored my card base. You can see, well, can you see the score line there? And what I'm going to do is, rather than fold this right yet, I'm not going to, because I want to stamp on it. And I want to position my sentiment to be, you know, right where it needs to be. So here's what's nice about this panel die. It's not full panel, so you see how there's this little bit of little margin space. I'm just going to put a little piece of purple tape there just to hold it, because what I'm going to do, and I think, let's get my sentiments here. I've changed my mind on the sentiment. Well, do I want to do I came, I saw, I left early? Oh, I love that you get me. You know, the thing is, it might fit better for what I want to do. I'd love to catch up. Let me see here. How wide is that? No, it's about the same. So here's the thing. I don't want to trap any white space. Oh, pick that up. I'd love to catch up, but I already talked to people this week. So I want this to nestle right in here. Does that make sense? So it's right inside the die. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to stamp, I'd love to catch up, or if I'm going to stamp and die cut it. But you know what? Maybe once I get let's see, does that look straight to my eye? I think it does. And if it's not, you know what? I'll fix it. All right, I think that's a good position for the sentiment. So pick this up with my Misty. Boop. Okay, gonna make sure I reposition. I'm just gonna rub my finger over the stamp. This has never been used, and in the manufacturing process, there is a coating, right? There's a little coating, and I'm just gonna try to rub it off a little. I think I'll just use a little Simon Intense Black, nothing too fancy, right? Just a little black ink. And sometimes I do this. Do I have a little way to test this? Sometimes I bring in my little scratch paper, just like that. I just want to stamp it down once and see how it looks. It looks pretty good. But I'm also going to clean it and then dry it. And the reason is, when you have so little going on, you kind of want to have the best impression possible. Don't be afraid. Inking up, and let's do the press. I'm going to bring my sleeve in for this one. Just a little pressure, like that. And I think that will look great. Let's just pop the panel back over. Oh, yep. Right there. Oh yeah. That's great placement. I really like that. I really do like that. So I think before I think about stamping this guy, I'd love to catch up. I'm going to possibly do the die cutting for the rest of it, or maybe I should, no, I don't know. This is where, you're going to make some decisions. What would you do? I mean, if this were your card, would you, because you already know so much is happening, or would you stamp and pop that up for a little more fun and interest? I don't think I'm going to. I feel like I might just leave it in the black, because so much more is going to happen. And I think I just got ink on my card base. Did I? Oh, way to go, Kath. All right, let's see. Where did that go? I have no idea, but here we go. Okay, we're going to think about that. So here's the thing. It doesn't matter. I'll put a sequin there. How's that? Just remind me at the end. Now here's a brilliant idea. I decided to just go ahead and die cut the sentiment shape to see how that would fit. And guess what? That's perfect. I thought for some reason, sometimes when you look at the the stamp itself, it might look a little weird, but that shape itself, I'm not going to do it in the red, that works. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed with gluing this down and starting to pop in some colors to this particular piece. I think I will go ahead and fold my card too. So do this, give that a nice press like that. And then I am going to tape this card base closed. Actually, do I have some of this purple tape? I do. It's because it's such thick cardstock, and I love that. It's my favorite to have a nice sturdy base, but I like to tape it closed so that when I am working to position something, which I'm going to do next with this, that I can see exactly what I'm doing. I love my mat. But sometimes my mat with the little white outline throws off my eye. And so I will bring in a little bit of this color so that and actually, here's another production tip, a little purple tape, stick it on the back, because sometimes when you have a full panel die, they'll move. And I don't want this to move while I'm placing it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my spray adhesive. Where are you? And I'm going to spray it off camera into a little box to coat the entire back of this so that I can glue that down and then begin plugging in die cut colors, which I actually don't have yet because I haven't done, but trust me, it's coming. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going top, bottom, side to side to the best of my ability to get that straight on the panel. How does that look? Does that look pretty good? Oh, that does look good. Okay. And actually, I'm gonna now just flip this over like this and press. Got my first layer, my little schmutz, and now, well, again, I'm gonna press this down, get a nice bit of adherence. I'll go start die cutting and be back with a bunch of colorful fills. It'll make more sense. But if I just focus on the elements that I need, right? No, I don't need the butterfly. I do need flowers, flowers, flowers. Again, light pink is going, did I get everything I needed there? Let's lift. Yes, okay. I'm only sticking with light pink for the outer, or for the flowers. So what I'm gonna do, let's just get this going here. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this adhesive in each petal area. And the thing about the liquid is you don't need a ton. It's going to be fine. And you just kind of go in lightly like that. I don't want too much because I don't want it to ooze, you know. You can use any glue pen for this, whatever you have. Oh, hopefully this will work. And we'll just start placing these in like that. And actually, that pokey works just fine. Poke. Oh. Oh. Sometimes the stick on this is not super great. Poke. Get you in here like that. All right, now you can see. Oh, do I have more? I am just the schmutz queen today. Well, that's going to get covered up anyway with another layer. But you can see I now have my pink flowers inlaid. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to go ahead and die cut all of the little berries. And I think what I'll do too is I won't die cut the whole sheet. I'll just place little bits of cardstock and kind of tape them on so that I don't waste it. Does that make sense? But although maybe I'll waste it. I don't know, because I could use these, I could make these flowers for something else too. Poke, 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 poke. Yeah, that's a berry. Poke them out. Poke, poke, poke. Berry. 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 I mean, this is a little ambitious, right? We don't always have time to do something like this. But, I mean, or do we? Okay, next we're going to move on to our green leaves. Should I make my leaves two-tone? So have a little bit of green leaf and a little bit of green apple. Can you visualize that? Should we try? I'm just going to say it. I feel like trying to do it two-tone is making it more complicated than it has to be. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to say, oop, get in there. Get in there, little guy. I'm there. I'm going to stick with just one. Yeah, just one. Okay. That is better. You know what I mean? I don't need that. You know, in the words of Scotty P, no regrets, not even one. So now we're going to ruminate on the butterfly. Ruminate. Boy, I'm going to cut some pink and I'm going to cut some orange, and then we're going to make some decisions. So I'm going to go do that. Considering I still don't know what I'm going to do for my little sentiment, would it be better to have pink butterfly wings here? Let's just kind of lay it into place. Like that. Do we like yellow? Or can we identify the colors of the rainbow? I believe we can. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do here. I like the pink. I just do. And some of you might be screaming, Cathy, no! Well, now I can't get them out. Come on now, come on. I think the reason why, actually, I guess all I have to do is that. Okay. I think the reason why is for just the monochromatic nature of it, right? It's very peaceful. And you can have it be really peaceful. It doesn't have to be in your face because there's already a lot going on with the die cut, right? Well, what about the sentiment? You know, I want that sentiment, which is kind of cheeky and funny, to stand out. Remember that? It's been so long, we forgot we had a sentiment, but we do. And sure, there's hot pink butterflies in our reality, right? Isn't that how it works in card making? We're just creating our own reality, right? Don't want to be outside, don't want to live in the real world, just want to live in my card. Okay, that's making me a little happy. So the next step in this convoluted process is now to layer on another layer of dimension so that we have just a little more dimension on this card. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this in my box off camera, and we will glue this on. Wiggle on over. Let's see, how's that looking? That lined up? Looks pretty good. Oh, look it. Yeah, okay. Flipper. Not to be confused with Flipper the dolphin. Did I just date myself? Because I'm guessing there's a few of you out there never heard of Flipper. And that's okay. We're going to push you in a little. Just kind of wiggle it into place. You know, and you could do the third layer of dimension if you wanted to. I am not going to because I think this will be just fine. It's not perfect on there, but it's as good as Mama's going to get it today. Press that on, and we're just going to let that completely adhere before we stamp and die cut our greeting, which now I think needs to be even simpler. So maybe it needs to be, let's see. Now let's think. Does it need to be on like green or pink or that or black? Might do it on black. I'm going to powder up the cardstock, especially black, because black tends to grab ink like the Dickens. And I'm going to ink you up. I don't know where my Swiffer cloth went to. It's here somewhere. So I'm going to pull you down and just use the old sleeve. Side, side, side. And I actually might stamp this twice. Let's see, how does that look? Well, it looks pretty good. Just lightly, because I really want a good impression. Like that. Okay. And I'm just going to grab my Brutus Monroe white alabaster powder. And we're just going to sprinkle that on there and that there. I actually think this will look good. How does that look? That looks pretty good. I'm going to do a little cleanup on it. And hopefully, got powder going everywhere. Cardstock, black cardstock, loves powder. It's like they're a match made in static heaven, even with the, and I figure you do a little cleanup on the front end and you're better on the back end. Now here's the thing too, if you ever stamp and you think, my powder sticks everywhere, I hate how it looks, get the embossing magic pad for sure. That is something I did not know about when I was just scrapbooking. And that's probably why I didn't stamp that much, because I hated how it looked because it was just messy. Where's my pokey tool? You can use your pokey tool. Like let's say you go in here, see this little, I mean, it's nitpicky, but see there's a little powder right there. If you're very careful, you can get that the tiniest pieces of powder. So someone asked me once, why do you go on the back with the heat tool? I think it's because A, I saw Jennifer McGuire do it, and B, it does help to straighten out the paper. So now we can take the coordinating die and cut this puppy out. But I think I'm going to make a template first, just so I don't mess it up. Let's trim this out. Well, this isn't cardstock. This is like a super, super lightweight, what do you call it? Copy paper. It's just the gray copy paper that I use to do stuff. Okay. Then I just think these dies, and you know, I designed them. They can be a little tricky to get perfectly framed. Look at that. Let's get it framed out. This will help you to get better cuts. Well, I say that. It doesn't always help me. Sometimes things slip when I'm taping, and then they don't work as well as I think they do, but a lot of times they do. We are framed out. Then what you do is you take your die, you line it back up, and you press it into the opening, and you'll feel it. It's almost like it locks into place. It's not really locking. And then you just tape it down again. I tend to err on the side of too much tape because I'm always afraid it's going to shift. But let's go cut this out and see what happens. See if that's a perfect cut the first time. Oh, I did it. That looks great. See? Nicely framed. Oh, Cathy. Okay, there's a little bit of paper came through on that. I'm gonna scrape that out. Oh, that is the money. That is the money. All right. Boop. 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 And I think, do I need to do smaller? Yeah, I do. I like to take little guys here just to kind of go in on the little sides that need supporting, like that. And now I want to show you what it's going to look like. What is that? Oh, more schmutz. Okay. Now all I have to do is glue it down. Okay, little foam tape on the back here. And that is what it looks like in black. But I wanted to show you, I went ahead and did it in pink as well. Here's the thing. Oh gosh, I don't know. And actually, please tell me in the comments below if you think that I'm about to make a big mistake. Part of the reason I like the black, because then I feel like this creates a more unified greeting and sub-greeting, if that makes sense. But I like the pink because I think that just tonally is really pretty on the card, and then we go berries, butterfly, sentiment. Yeah, I think we're going to go with the pink. All right, let's get the backers off. I want to have the space be about equal from the leaf to the... I think I could have centered that sub-sentiment a little bit better, but let's see. How does that look? I think that's cute. I think that looks good. And I can wiggle it a little, right? Is that in the right position? Yeah. And press. All right. I'll arrange some sequins and we're almost done. I'm going to start there just so I make sure that I get it right where I want it. Boop. This guy is going to go right there. Why is it coming out with bubbles? There we go. Boop. That'll be fine. I think I want to put that kind of right on the edge so that it picks up from the edge because I like that positioning. And again, I'm just doing the 5 sequins. Oops, a little bubble. I like the odd numbers. I think they're nice for, oh, now the bubbles. It will dry clear. Okay. Odd numbers are nice in design. They're uneven. They're exciting. They're unpredictable. And friends, we have come to the end of this card project. Now, I am going to let these settle for a second before I flip them because I like to do that. But here's the thing too. So some of these greetings would be great for the inside of the card. So I actually think I'm going to grab a little brick here because if I send this to, for example, if I sent this to my friend Jennifer McGuire, she'd totally get this card because we don't talk. We text each other, right? And she's an introvert and she would appreciate this. In fact, I feel like all of my friends are, but I'm going to grab a brick here so I can stamp on the inside. It'd be cute too to actually have Introverts Unite on the inside. just to drive that message home, but I think I'll do I love that you get me. So let me go grab a brick and we'll stamp that. I am most definitely going to practice stamping this a couple times. I could get my Misty out, but I want you all to get the sense that I live on the edge sometimes and that my version of the edge is pretty wild, and that's this right here. So let's stamp it once. And actually, let's stamp it again. And it doesn't look so good. And I think it's because I'm stamping right onto this mat. So I think it'll be better. Well, Cathy, maybe you're not going to be capable of doing this. I have to believe. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Okay, let's make sure. I don't think these are going to, are these going to come off? I don't think so. Okay, we're going to unstick it because remember I stuck it closed. Ah, there we go. Okay, go like that. Let's just get it. I'm just going to stamp it right into the middle. I love that you get me. Just like that, the greeting's inside. So that's it. That is the finished card project. We've got this fun little die cut frame, right? Looks great on the card base and kind of a snarky, cute little greeting. I don't know. It's pretty cute, right? It turned out pretty cute. All the supplies for this project linked below.